Come in. Hey.
What's poppin'?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, John.
Yeah, welcome KQ, aka Culture Queen, aka, are there any more AKAs?
LupusGirlThriving.
All right, so KQ, tell us about the Lupus Girl Thriving. What's that all about?
Yeah. So I got diagnosed in 2020. I had really fought with my doctors about not taking medicine, wanting to go the natural path. So after resisting, I started doing my meds. But then I got a very bad reaction. So there was a sulfur reaction in the beginning, and then I got psychiatric effects, like I got mad in the quite literal sense. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'd be talking to people on the TV, wanting to run away from home, just a lot of crazy things going on. So in the process, my mom was like, so we're going to do a plant-based diet. So that worked. I got into remission. Then after remission, I started like eating all these unhealthy things because I really missed them, like burgers, pizzas, whatnot. Then I was like, okay, fine. So now it's on me now. I know what can work and what doesn't work. So now I do dieting, exercising, Pilates here and there, stretching. I try to run when I can. Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, I decided to start like a community.
I see.
To help people like with these tips, what works. Yeah.
So you were diagnosed with lupus. How many years ago was that?
2020.
Right. So not too long ago, barely 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. And what were the symptoms when you actually first felt like something was off?
So joint pains. I had mouth sores. My face was swelling. Yeah, but I don't know why I thought these things would just go away. It's my brother who insisted, we have to go to hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
So it got more debilitating, and eventually your brother convinced you to go to the hospital to get a proper diagnosis.
I think it's the mouth sores that scared him. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
so it must have been painful.
It was painful. It was painful, but growing up, I've had a very high pain tolerance.
Gotcha.
So I've been the kid who used to, when you feel something is off, you just keep quiet and hope it goes away.
Right.
Yeah, or you treat yourself with something that you know can work.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that we dove right into it. All right, lupus, right? And then from the diagnosis, then you got healthy, then you got sick again. Now you're in remission. I presume you were okay.
Well, I haven't seen my doctor this whole year, but I've been okay. But I intend to go and see him, yeah.
That's good. And tell us about the organization. What do you provide? Do you guys meet? Is it virtual? Is it in person?
So we have not yet met, but we have a WhatsApp group, and there's also an Instagram. I'm trying to start up one for guys, because usually in these groups, women are the ones who engage more. But also there are men with lupus, and like it's normally 10%, but they're there.
Right.
And they need support, so I'm trying to get into that as well. We've had virtual meetings, especially like on Lupus Day, but I'm also engaged in other organizations. There's one called Scleroderma, Lupus, and other autoimmune diseases. So yeah, we do events together with them, so that's where we get to meet. Then also we share meds, like if someone has medicine that they've been, like the doctor is like, you won't use this anymore, you can give it to someone else. So we collect them and then distribute them to people. Yeah. That's
excellent. So now tell us this condition, lupus. I guess there are many different forms, such as for instance, you see somebody like Seal, he has the butterfly scarring around, but you don't have that. Yeah. So is this a progression of the disease, or is it just a different type?
No. From my understanding, I think there's like 3-4 types. So there's SLE, that's mine, systemic lupus erythematosus.
Right.
Yeah, such a huge name.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful. Then there's discoid. I think that's the one he has.
Seal, right.
Then there's lupus nephritis. It affects the kidneys.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess that one's a little bit more involved.
Yep. It's involving later stages, you get into dialysis.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's quite something.
Okay, so well, thank God you're not
Although they can
part of
progress
that
into each
category.
other,
Oh, they can.
they can.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. So now in terms of research that's being done in country, are there any research bodies that are working towards solving this problem here?
I think so far it's still a global effort. Yeah, countries are involved, but there's still a lot that needs to be done in terms of even getting the medicine, seeing a doctor, because you have to see rheumatologists, and they're quite costly.
Right.
Yeah,
because all with the joint pain and all that.
Yeah. Then also insurance companies, some of them are not very
Accommodating.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like there's a time I was in hospital and they called me. I won't mention the company for obvious reasons.
You know who you are.
So they're like,
sorry, may I offer you a beverage? May I offer you some tea?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you. So they called me and they're like, I was 2 days in hospital. See, now you can get better from home. And I'm thinking, you guys, I came here because I was sick.
Right.
I need the medical attention. But
so they're trying to reduce the bill to as little as possible. But then when it comes to collecting the premiums, of course, they're like, hey. I guess insurance companies, they're all the same, you know?
Yeah.
And you know who you are. I'm looking at you.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Great. So, besides LupusGirlThriving, I know you wear many different hats. I think you were a freelance graphic designer. You are the founder and editor of Kulture Magazine.
Yes.
And you are, what else? You basically have several events going on right now. You have the storytelling by the fire with the kids. One's done, I think, once a month at Karen Village for the kids, parents and kids around the fire. There's another event for adults somewhere else. Where is that taking place?
Under house.
Right.
So it's mostly philosophical. Yeah.
Excellent. And then when is that happening next?
We're looking to September.
Okay, great.
It's bi-monthly, every other month.
Right, excellent. And then also, what else? You are, I guess a community for chronic illness and autoimmune conditions that not only focuses on lupus, but other autoimmune conditions, right? Tell us a little bit more about the other autoimmune conditions that you guys collaborate with.
So there are actually about 90 to 100 autoimmune conditions.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So what are the major ones? Of course, lupus.
Lupus, fibromyalgia, scleroderma, diabetes.
Whoa. Cancer?
No. Cancer is chronic.
Cancer is chronic, right?
It's not autoimmune. There's SJORGEN. I don't know how to say that.
SJORGEN as Georgian.
Something like that.
Okay. I have to research that. I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of this before.
What else? Vitiligo.
Right.
I can't really remember.
Right. Whether there were so many, but I guess that's quite a few already that you interface with in your organization. And you say you guys share medication if it could be reused, of course. But is that safe though to share medication?
As long as it hasn't expired.
Right.
Yeah, because most of them are expensive.
Right.
Yeah, like there's one called MMF. It's quite costly. The cheap one is prednisone, which is
I've heard about that one.
Yeah, it's a steroid.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's great as long as it doesn't put anybody in danger. I guess it's a great thing to actually share these medications with.
Yeah, we
people.
only share what has been prescribed to you.
Right.
Yeah, we don't self-diagnose or give you what we think works.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right. Now tell us about Kulture Magazine. I know you. How many? I
think 6.
How many volumes? Volume 6 now out or coming out?
Okay, the first one is Sankofa. Then there is Sunt, which is a health one.
Right.
Then the Ubuntu special. Then Renaissance edition. Then a music special. Now I'm working on the 6th one.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. And then how long has this magazine been going on? Was this the first year, or are you going in the second year? This is the first year, I'm assuming.
No, second.
Second year, yeah.
I started 2021 January.
Right.
Yeah. And then as a hobby.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to like be this big.
Right.
Then one time I saw Pedro's photo. He's in charge of Rustic Talent. Okay, he works with a partner.
Right.
Yeah, and so I was like, yo, so you guys can help me with my thing, because I saw they do monetization of talent and whatnot. Then it's like, brilliant, your magazine is actually what we're looking for. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know, so let's just do this. So we had a series of meetings with Pedro and his partner Peter, and now we're here.
Excellent. Great. I mean, it's a great initiative, because now you are basically, the magazine encompasses histories about African
it's Black
spirituality,
excellence.
Black excellence, and of course now you health, music, culture, and all that. I mean, Culture Magazine, Black culture,
Exactly.
Black excellence.
Yeah. I do focus on three things: repatriation, Black excellence.
Right.
I mean, Black history, and technology.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Great. So, talking about technology, are you going to do an edition on AI? Because now AI is the talk of the town, right? Unless you've lived under a rock for the past 6 months, you know about AI. Are you going to do an edition on AI?
Actually, the Renaissance edition, I think, could be an AI edition as well, because most of the images I used was from an AI
generated.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
Excellent. So, I mean, it's great, because now AI is a tool to help in streamlining certain processes. And also, for a magazine, you are faced with copyright issues, whether, photographs were, appropriated against certain guidelines. You could get yourself in a lot of hot water. So now you're using AI to generate certain images for, and how great would it be to use AI to literally generate the whole edition? That would be awesome.
I'd feel guilty if the content
was
AI.
But why though?
Because it's not me. Okay,
right.
I can guide the AI.
Yeah, but there you go. But that's you.
Yeah, it's still me.
Yeah.
But like just getting content like okay, write me an article about repatriation.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to do it verbatim, but yes, I would consider that cheating. But if you use it as a framework, right? Because remember, once you prompt the AI, your prompt becomes the seed that generates the content. All it does is it streamlines, and it basically gets you into an efficiency pathway that normally something that would take you about an hour to do, you can do it literally in 30 seconds. And then of course you still have to go in and make it your own, put your own voice in there, your own, So I see that happening. So great. So AI
also
definitely
on AI still. In this edition, I'll be talking about how it's being used to help people who are abroad to look at things in Africa. For example, I think For Jesus has been digitized.
Yeah.
So they can just watch from home. Oh, this is For Jesus. There's that bush over there. There's a mosque somewhere.
Right.
So it's really enhancing that process of repatriation, because people get to connect to the motherland still while they're in America or South Korea, wherever.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a good thing.
No, definitely. That's going to actually give access to people who would generally not have access to to book a plane ticket and say, well, I'm flying to Namibia, or I'm flying to Kenya, or I'm flying to to Egypt to see what's going on. Now you can literally, in the comfort of your own home, put on goggles and look around and see all that. Yeah, definitely. But I think I love that, but nothing beats being there in person, on the ground, touching the soil, right?
Definitely pouring some libation.
Yes, exactly. Definitely for the ancestors. Yeah, there you go. Definitely. So tell us about the reading, the story time that happens once a month.
Yeah.
At Karen Village. What's the concept, and then what inspired you to put that together?
Okay. So it's basically we're trying to bring families together, number one, because in the African culture, the family setup is quite important, it's very unique. I'd remind you of Milo's quote when he talked about in Africa we don't discard the bad wives, we keep them.
Salute to Professor Milo. Hey, yeah. All right.
So basically for Africans, family unit is very important, and there's a lack of events that brings family together. There's always things that the husband can go to, the wife is interested in something else, kids go to school, but we should, as a society, accommodate our children and bring them up in the right way. So storytelling is one way to do that. So the stories are usually African-based. We also do have stories from across the globe, because right now we're a small village and our kids are growing up in a very global setup. But stories, of people like them and of their communities informs them of who they are, and they get to see what they can be. So that's the whole concept of it. And then also I can give you some bookmarks for Kulture Magazine. You see what I'm about, some merchandise here and there. Yeah, some companies can come and do some marketing. We're currently working with TISAs. They do tablets for children. So also they can learn African languages from the tablets like Yoruba. They're still basically in the west part of Africa, but I'm hoping they'd come to East Africa. So yeah.
That's excellent. I think it's a great initiative to bring the kids to a place where representation is key. Now these stories they see themselves, they hear or they imagine characters that are being recounted to them, and they see, oh, this character sounds like my uncle or my cousin or my brother or my mom or my grandma. And I think it's important to have representation, because for a lot of us growing up, we grew up listening to stories that were brought to us from other people's perspective. Whether it was Tarzan, for instance, how do you have a story set in the middle of a jungle in Africa, and the hero is a white kid who now is able to communicate with the animals, who knows how to build tree houses and go from vine to vine, who befriends a chimp, and then now there's a whole concept. I mean, if you want to be authentic, I think Tarzan should have been black from the beginning.
Yeah, from the get-go.
You know what I mean? How did he? Because again, it's that supremacy, right? Where we are, no matter what situation we're in, we are going to thrive. We are going to master our environment. These other people, they can't master their environment. And I think what you're doing with the story time, I think it's amazing. So now the other, on the flip side of that, you have an event for adults as well.
Yes.
It's more, like you said, intellectual based. So what do you guys discuss as well? Is it more African spirituality, African based, or what do you talk about?
We do touch on spirituality. I work with a storyteller called Musyoki Mutua Poet, and he's also a numerologist.
Right.
So we get to touch on that as well. We've just had one storytelling session, but it was really good.
Okay.
It was around hidden dimensions, so talking about the coincidences in our lives and the things that happen to lead us to where we are.
Is this pertaining to the fifth dimension or something similar?
I think it encompasses everything.
Right.
Yeah. So, for example, someone who he has a kid coming, actually twins. He has no money. And he's just praying, seated like God. And he's a drum maker as well. So two guys approach him and they're like, I'm looking for somebody who makes drums. So is it the prayer, or like how did that get to that moment? So just analyzing such situations through stories also gets you thinking about the things that have happened to you. Then considering the fact that we are just human, but there's another force outside us. Bringing all that into a story.
Absolutely. No, definitely, because whether you believe in some people say, well, the stars are aligned, or the ancestors are looking out for us, or guardian angels, or whatever you believe in, there's always a path to realization, a path to you might call it the law of attraction, whatever you call it, right? There's always that sort of like an air of mysticism that's attached to such events, where you're down to your last dollar or your out shilling, and then all of a sudden something magically appears.
Something just happens, yeah.
Right, and I think if we pay more attention to those, I wouldn't call them coincidences, but those. I guess those manifestations, then we'll realize that, the adage of ask and ye shall receive is there. But at the same time, you have to be proactive as well.
Yeah, you do.
Right? Because you can't just sit back and then wait for the sky to open up to, and then all of a sudden fish and bread and wine will fall out.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen that way. So I think that's great. So African spirituality is very important. I know you're very involved in the space. So where do you stand on, we don't want to piss anybody off, but, religion and the correlation between religion and African spirituality. What do you see the bridge right there? How do you bridge those two?
Okay. That's a very good question. I know I'll step on some toes. Sorry, mom and dad.
But hey, we're here.
But yeah, I feel like religion has taken away the aspect of the society having ancestors as well as the unborn. So we don't have that line of continuity. We think that we are the only ones and we matter, and once we are dead, that's it. But when you look into African spirituality, it recognizes heavily the ancestors. We also look forward to the unborn. And now we see ourselves as a conduit of continuation. And we are larger than ourselves, So recognizing your ancestors every day is something that is part and parcel of my life right now. One time I was pouring libation and someone was looking at me and I'm just thinking, what are they thinking I'm doing?
They just don't understand it.
They don't understand it. But for me, especially after I lost my grandfather, that's one person I really want to keep in touch with and in communication. So sometimes I dream with him and he's always just looking at me, and especially because of the cultural center. It's something we started together, and I feel like I would need his guidance more than anybody else who's alive, not in a bad way, but because it's his vision that I'm trying to carry forward, and I don't think he's just gone like that.
Right.
Yeah. Also the fact that your ancestors inform you of who you are, why you're here. I know about my clan. Our symbol is the elephant, so it gives you a sense of who you are and maybe what you like, spirit animal, things like that. The elephant is an animal that's very good in memory. It's an elephant that treats itself when it's sick.
Extremely.
And so when you see these things in yourself as well, it gives you a sense of who you are as a person.
Absolutely. And elephants also, they're a social animal.
They are.
And I think they're one of the only animals that bury their dead, and then they mourn their dead for extended periods of time.
Yeah.
And even during birth, they all gathered around, especially the female elephants, and pet the the calf with their trunks and all that type of stuff. So I think it's great. You raise a very interesting point, where pouring libation is something that in ancient African culture there was always an altar somewhere, whether it's in the house or on the land, where in the homestead there was always a shrine that paid homage to the ancestors, to your parents, your grandparents, and so on and so forth. But also, I think there was a point in time where you would literally bury a grandma and grandpa in the backyard, and everybody would be buried in the same land. And I think now introducing cemeteries was something, again, it's I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do, but it stripped away that proximity, right? That access to the ancestors, but also the mindset of the bloodline, the ancestry continues. It doesn't stop. And what I think happened is we got stripped of that part of our history.
It was actually demonized.
Right? Exactly. So it was deemed, it's not civilized to do that anymore. So you have to go to a specific place, a cemetery, to bury your ancestors. And I think they did a disservice to us by taking that away from us and not being able to, in a moment of in a moment of distress, you could always go to your ancestors and pray and ask for guidance.
Talk to them.
Talk to them.
Yeah.
And then, but we lost that. And I think this is a great point to segue into your grandpa's legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the cultural center that you're setting up in your village.
So it's called TruBen Cultural Center.
TRUBEN.
TRUBEN.
Mm-hmm.
So the T stands for Truphosa.
Right.
My grandmother.
Right.
Then the B is Benjamin. But I call him Jamin.
Okay. So it's an amalgamation of your grandma and your grandfather's name.
Yes.
TruBen.
Yeah, from my father's side.
Wonderful.
That's the Kalenjin side of me.
Mm-hmm.
TruBen Cultural Center for Nandi language, arts, and societal development.
Nice.
So it's going to be a home-based museum, a private museum where we collect and embrace material culture of the Kalenjin people, educate them about these things, maybe even have lessons on how to make some of these artifacts since they're not being used anymore. Also, we're going to have like a resource center where we disseminate knowledge of the Nandi community. We're also going to have a space where people can come and do some storytellings, riddles. We call that setup Tangoch. So Tangoch basically was riddle time. In the olden days.
So Tangoch is in Kalenjin language.
Yes, it's a Kalenjin language.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how we have hadithi njo.
Right.
So there's Tangoch and people respond cho.
Tangoch.
Cho. Yeah, so you have a riddle, people try and think about it, then give an answer. So we throw in some storytelling, some music, work with Nandi local artists, comedians.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds very interesting. And so now you're in the process of building that cultural center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How far along are you?
Okay, so we have a social media, digital footprint, and a blog as well.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a week's blog, but we have some interesting things going on there.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we have the setup already, but still in the works.
Okay.
We haven't opened it yet.
Right.
Collecting some artifacts here and there. Yeah.
Excellent. So when we talk about artifacts, what are you talking about? Paintings, sculptures?
Sculptures, gourds.
Right.
We're really big on gourds and calabashes actually.
Nice.
There's a big gourd for the ceremonies, then another one for the elders, one for the babies to carry the milk in.
Oh wow, okay.
For putting herbs. There's all sorts of gourds for all sorts of things.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting, and of course now these collections that you're doing, are you doing them countrywide or just in a specific region where those gourds are collected?
You have to start from where you are.
Yeah.
So the neighbors, my grandmother's collections, my grandfather's collections, the spears and there are different spears for different things.
Right.
Yeah, there's one
like a ceremonial, there's a war spears, right?
War,
hunting,
the ones for removing blood from the animals, because our people used to drink blood like the Maasai.
Right, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, have you tried
No.
That was back then.
Green tea is good.
Hey, there you go. On that note, yes, green tea all day.
Yeah. Collecting things like earrings.
Right.
Our people look quite big on ornaments.
Okay, ornaments like necklaces and beads and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Headgear, bracelets.
Bracelets, things like that.
That's very interesting. And so your collection must be growing right now. It must be quite extensive.
Yeah, my room at home looks like a store. I have gourds.
Right.
I have the cowbell.
Nice.
I have some spears.
Right.
So don't mess with me.
Hey, that's right. Watch out now. Watch out, people. All right. She's armed and dangerous.
Oh yeah.
That's excellent. I love that. And of course, to undertake such an endeavor, where you're not even in your 30s yet, and then you're going on an adventure that most people twice your age who should know better, about preservation, about cultural heritage. A lot of people are not undertaking such an endeavor, and then right now you are walking in the path of your grandpa. So what gave you the inspiration, or what gives you the drive to? Is this something you discussed with your grandfather before he transitioned?
Yeah, definitely. He had wanted to do a guest house that embraces cultural aspects of the Nandi. And I also have an interest in culture, hence Kulture Magazine.
Right.
But where it all started, I think, that it was, I was trying to look back at myself. I think I was in sort of a crisis.
Right.
You know that when you're growing up and trying to figure out who you are. So I started by my name is Joy Jerop Ngetich. My mother is from the Kamba community and Kikuyu community, and that is from Nandi. But that's where it stopped, because I don't understand the language. I don't even know what the culture is entailed about. Yeah, so I figured I need to go on a journey.
Got you.
To discover like who I am, learn the language. Currently, I have 2 books of Kamba and Nandi. I write the words I hear people say every day, and I try and remember them and then speak them. Once in a while, I'd pull a Kamba statement in the house and make sure she's like, "Hey, you're happy. I hear you say this thing." So common statements like "Baide na" or "Okatuka nywe chai." That means no problem. Come we take tea, Komane is good night. So just I want to learn. Okay. And I'm very passionate about it. So yeah, also at home my grandfather used to give me lessons just before he passed away. One time he was like, I wish you started early. Now I just have pity on you.
Well, I think it's important to keep his legacy alive, because he started you on that journey, and then you took the baton, and then you continuing on the legacy, and I think it's a beautiful thing, and hopefully, the generation that's coming after you, they'll pick up on it, and then they'll keep the legacy going for forever, because I think culture is very important. It is. Without culture, a community cannot thrive, and that includes everything, whether it's the arts, whether it's the language, whether it's the food, the attire, certain mannerisms, certain proverbs, certain things you say. I think it encompasses all that, and I think it's amazing. So KQ, you are on the pod finally. I'm great to have you here, because remember, Open Door Podcast, all right? So at this point, we're going to ask KQ to plug all her stuff, all the upcoming events, or socials, website, smoke signal, you know what I mean? All that type of stuff. So why don't you go ahead, plug away. Tell us where the people can find you.
Instagram, _culture_magazine. Right. Yeah. Twitter as well, the Culture Mag.
Wait, now it's not Twitter anymore. Now it's X.
Oh, it's X.
Yes,
X. I saw that the other day. LinkedIn. I think I'll do a link tree. Yeah. I'll send it to you.
Excellent.
Also, there's the LupusGirlThriving.
Right.
That's just LupusGirlThriving on Instagram.
Got you.
There's a blog as well.
And then Facebook?
No,
Facebook. Yeah. All right.
I was banned from advertising on Facebook.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
What happened? You see, Zuck. I don't know.
Yeah, Zuck.
Yeah, they do things like that, so arbitrary, and then you're like, no explanation. It's
yeah.
Well, all right. Well, their loss. Anyway, so anyway,
also,
all the links will be in the description.
Yeah.
Right.
TruBen as well. But I can talk about my events though.
Yeah, definitely. Plug away. What do you have coming up? Events, the story times, and all that.
So there's the Afrikan Hadithi Nights, 26th of August.
Okay. So 26th of August this month.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the month starting tomorrow. Right.
Yeah.
Depends when you watch this, by the way.
Yeah, I think the last Saturday of the month.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's another one, a festival. It's called Sherehe Kwetu Tameri. It's gonna be here in Karen Village still.
Awesome.
October 26th.
It's cultural based.
Yes, it's very cultural. It's an Afrocentric. So Sherehe Kwetu Tameri means celebration in our beloved land of Africa. Tameri was an ancient name of Africa.
Right.
Even before Kemet. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Well, there you have it, folks. KQ in the house. OG on the Open Door podcast. Remember, this is a podcast where anybody and anybody could walk in and talk about anything and everything within reason, of course. And also remember, you never know who's going to be behind the door next. Who knows? It might be you. In the meantime, see ya.
Peace.